I feel like, first of all, many of you are already doing it. Y'all are already doing it. But for some of us, we just need to see a thing to be a thing. Sometimes we need to envision what other people are doing to say, hey, wait a minute, that's a great idea. Maybe I can do something similar in my community, right? So today, let me welcome a powerhouse. She is the only Black woman CEO of an international development company, y'all. It's in the Dominican Republic. Let me welcome the one and only Diana Lynch, Esquire. Hello there.
Good afternoon. I'm so happy to be here. It's great to sit down with you and talk to you and your listeners. So thank you for having us.
Always. I am super excited to talk with people who are doing the work. You know, a lot of folk talk about, I want to do this, I want to do that. So let's start with the vision.
Okay.
What led to Samana Bay? I'll say it. Alma de Samana.
Alma de Samana, and it is a world-class resort. It is an 18-hole golf course, will be the only one in the northern shore of the Dominican Republic. It is kind of the Martha's Vineyard of the Dominican Republic. It's where the Dominicans vacation. I know many of us are familiar with Punta Cana and Sosúa, various other things. You know, just like any other place, the country represents quite a bit of diversity, depending on what kind of vacation you wish to have. But Alma de Samana is more than just a destination. It is a mission. And it's one that we have undertaken as Black developers, a group of Black developers. I'm a developer in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as South Carolina. I've developed various properties over the last 2 decades. I'm an attorney by trade. And a former JAG officer. And in those various different roles, I have been maybe sometimes the first to do something. And so I don't shy away from that. I actually embrace it. And I was given an opportunity to also, in this respect, become the first African-American CEO of the International Resort in Dominican Republic. But it's just not that. The thing that really motivates me about this is the call to action. The property that we acquired was originally settled by freed Americans, emancipated Americans, and we're coming up on the bicentennial of that period of time when the slaves were emancipated, and they were given free passage by then the Haitian government to actually settle in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, Diana. I'm sorry.
Okay.
First of all, language is everything here.
Absolutely.
You know, we're the global majority. None of us are minorities, and something happened to people who were enslaved. The slave was not their destination or their designation. They were enslaved. They were Africans who were snatched from a place and forced into bondage. Something happened to them. And so when they were emancipated, how did Haiti have the position to even tell us some history? How did Espanol, how did IT have the power to grant people land? Talk about it.
Well, actually, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it because I'm so passionate about it. When we were freed, when we were emancipated, these Americans, as you might have heard, were given a period of time to relocate from where they had been placed with their former owners. And there was a very big movement at that time by the government, the American government, to find other places to place these newly freed Americans. For various reasons. Some were nefarious reasons, and because they didn't want the mixing of the races. And so they wanted to find other destinations. If we didn't own you as property, we wanted to find another place for you because your usefulness has expired. So
for some people, they know Liberia. There was a place that was already there because my ancestry traces back to the original folk. America, and it's such a schizophrenic thing to be an American, to be Black, to be a descendant of enslaved people. The we become so confused in my mind. But the American government created a space for people to go back to Africa. And they displaced the original indigenous people there, created a whole place called Liberia, and then made the capital after an American president, Monrovia. It is sick what was done. But you're telling me now another place that they wanted to ship us back to.
Actually, there were Dominican Republic was one of many places. There was Brazil and various other countries that were actually earmarked for potential places for we to go. Some of it was not so nefarious. Some was very well intended because they felt like as freed Americans, we would not be welcomed and that we would be try to be re-enslaved and or be faced with so much atrocities that they wanted to find a safe space. So actually, Frederick Douglass actually traveled to the Dominican Republic. There was a vote in the Dominican Republic. My counterpart, who is an anthropologist from SUNY and who will be doing a traveling tour with me, talking about reclaiming destiny. We're going to start this traveling tour and we're going to travel to mainland America and Dominican Republic and tell the story, because when you go to Dominican Republic, you don't really know about Samaná and how much it means in the foothold of our heritage and how it provided a refuge for our people then, and how they were so purposeful for keeping it in from generation to generation. They did not divest their family lineage. And in fact, we are acquiring this land from many of those descendants. When we see and sign these papers, they're Jenkins and Johnsons and and they speak English. And it's just, it's kind of an out-of-body experience. It's purposeful. We call it reclaiming destiny. And that's why we're here. And so what I am saying is America actually was in talks with Dominican Republic to actually acquire it, to actually place these Americans. And at some point, they took a vote in the Dominican Republic and it received a majority vote to actually allow for the purchase of this particular property. And however, and what I'm learning from my counterpart, my anthropologist, Mr. Ryan Hamilton, he is indicating part of it was due to just their desire to be protected by the American government, because once they were freed, I know you know the passage, not only do a lot of us come from Liberia and other parts of Africa, many of those that re-enslaved us when we were fortunate enough to become free, they would come back to these countries and re-enslave us. And so the idea of being owned by America and protected by America was attractive to a lot of the Dominicans at that time, which at that time there was only one country and it was Haiti. And so they were given, these emancipated Americans were given free passage. About 6,000 of them came from mainly Philadelphia, Amy Church, Pennsylvania, New York, Baltimore, and some in South Carolina, which my counterpart, Ryan Hamilton's family came from. And they settled in Samaná and brought their culture and they brought their traditions that were formed in America and created as farmers a major resource for that region that allowed its sustainability for many, many years. And the land that we're acquiring, the 600 or so acres with options for up to 3,000, gives us the opportunity to reacquire this land. As African-American developers, we hope to make it available to other Americans to also reclaim destiny. What it meant to them years ago, a refuge, a freedom, a new beginning, we want to also offer it to our Americans and make them aware of the opportunity to not only live abroad, invest abroad, make short-term rentals and wealth building, legacy building. That's the mission we've undertaken. And then not only acquiring it and owning it, but making the community better by e-education and by training and e-commerce and sustainability. So it is a whole project that has been embraced by the government, permitted and embraced by the government.